Have you ever felt like you are living the same reality on repeat? Like, no matter how much you want to change, you always end up in the same pattern, facing the same struggles and feeling like your dream life is just out of reach. What if I told you that a more successful, abundant, and aligned version of you already exists? And even better, you can actually step into that version of you right now. This is what people often refer to stepping into your higher self, or timeline jumping, or shifting timelines. And today that is exactly what we will talk about and how to do it. So grab your coffee or tea, get cozy, and let's get into it. Alright, so before we talk about how we create our dream reality, let's take a step back. Because here is the real question. Do we actually have free will, or is our life already planned out? Are everything happening for a reason, or are we truly in control? These paradoxes have been debated in spiritual circles and in religion forever. On one hand, we have free will, which means that we are the creators of our own reality. And on the other hand, we have a belief that before our soul incarnates, it chooses certain experiences, challenges, and lessons that we are meant to encounter and overcome in this lifetime, aka a soul contract. But how can both be true at the same time? Here's how I look at it. Soul contracts are like a map. They lay out the key themes, the lessons, and crossroads that we are meant to encounter in this lifetime. Free will is how we navigate those experiences, how you respond, the choices you make, and the way you evolve from them. Certain things are for sure fated, like meeting certain people or experiencing certain challenges, but how you experience them and what you do with them, that is all you, which means that is up to your free will. Think of your life like an open world video game. Your soul is the game developer. It designs the main storyline, key challenges, and the main quests, aka soul contracts. But you, as a player, you have free will, which means that you decide how you want to play the game. Do you take the easy path or the hard path? Do you resist change, or do you embrace it? Do you repeat the same pattern over and over again, or do you finally level up? And here is where parallel realities comes into play. What if I told you that in every moment you are shifting into a different version of yourself? Science, especially quantum physics, suggests that every decision you make, you are actually creating a new reality. So in one timeline, you may have taken the leap of faith and moved to another country. But in another timeline, you decided not to move, which means that you are staying exactly where you are, or living exactly where you are now. But both versions of you exist at the same time. They are just on different frequencies. So the question isn't, can I become the version of me? It is, am I tuned into that reality? Imagine reality as a radio station. Every possible version of you already exists, but each version of you are broadcasting on a different frequency, like a different radio channel. The only difference between where you are now and the version of yourself that are living your dream life, that is the frequency that you are tuned into. So the real question would be, what channel are you listening to? But what really determines what channel you are tuned into? Your reality or your current timeline is mainly determined by, number one, your beliefs. Do you believe success is inevitable for you, or do you believe it is impossible? Number two, your emotions. Are you radiating confidence or fear? And number three, your daily choices and habits. Are you acting like your future self now, or are you waiting for something to change first? The hard truth is that if you keep making choices based on fear and doubts and lack, you will stay stuck in a low vibrational reality or timeline. But if you start making decisions based on the version of you that already has what you desire, you will for sure shift timeline, bestie, to a timeline that feels magical. You will start to notice more synchronicities, you will start to attract more opportunities, and your reality will start to shift in ways that don't even feel logical. Here is where life really gets exciting and magical. So if you feel stuck in a timeline that doesn't feel aligned to you, first of all, I see you. I know exactly how that feels like. I can relate so hard, to say the least. But know that you are absolutely not stuck. You have the power within you to change it. And in the next part of this video, I will show you exactly how to do that. But first, before we move on, let's do a little poll in the comments. If you believe we have only soul contract, then comment this emoji. And if you believe we only have free will, comment this emoji. And if you believe that we have a mix of both, comment this emoji. Alright, let's move on to the next part. So if you want to shift into a reality where your dream self exists, you have to match the frequency of that version of you. This means that you need to think and act and feel and make choices based on the version of you that you want to step into. One of the biggest reasons why people struggle with shifting timelines is because they are not clear on who they want to become. They may know that they want to make a change in their life, but they don't know what change they want to make. And also they don't have a system to track their progress. Think about it. If you were already wealthy, how would you carry yourself? If you were already confident and successful, what habits would you have? Or if you were already in your dream relationship, how would you show up in love? Most people try to manifest by hoping and wishing, but they still act from their current reality or their current self. The true shift happens when we start to make decisions based on our future self and also feel like as if it's already is yours, as if it's already have happened. And this is why I started to write everything down. Every time I had a decision to make, or I felt stuck, or I had a lot on my mind, I journaled. In my experience, journaling can be such a great tool to use to gain more self-awareness, which for sure leads to a more expanded ability to take more ownership of your own life. And when you take more ownership of your life, you are more easily able to make the choices necessary to change your life and step into a more abundant and prosperous version of yourself. So here is a little quick exercise for you. Ask yourself, if I were already my high self, what would I do today? How would I think, feel, and act? Who would I be surrounded by? And then act on it, even in the smallest way. Remember that it is in the daily choices and habits that we are creating our dream reality. Alrighty, so before we jump into how to integrate the new version of yourself on a daily basis, let's talk about the weird and unexpected things that can start happening when you are shifting into a new timeline or a new version of yourself. Some of these shifts can for sure feel very magical, but honestly, some of them, they can feel a little intense. So if you've been feeling different lately, like reality doesn't feel the same, pay attention, because you might already be shifting timelines. So here is some weird but common but also contradicting signs that you are in the process of shifting timeline. Number 1, deja vu intensifies. You start to experience deja vus more often. Like you have lived that moment before, but even though logically you know that you haven't. And this is a sign that your subconscious mind are recognizing a shift before your conscious mind are catching up. And personally, this is something I experience quite often. And not so long ago, I had a really weird experience. I had a deja vu of having a deja vu of having a deja vu. So yeah, that was so trippy. And sign number 2, things start to feel really off. Jobs and relationship or habits you had that once felt really in alignment suddenly feels really off or out of place, like they don't fit anymore. It almost feels like you can't relate to your old life anymore, or you can't relate to that past version of yourself anymore because you have outgrown it. For example, conversations that you once had that felt really exciting are now feeling more draining, or the things that you used to want, they are no longer in alignment with you. They are not giving you the fulfillment any longer. Sign number 3, the urge to declutter, move, or change your space. You can suddenly have that urgent need to either clear out clutter or rearrange your space or even move. And this is a sign that your environment needs to change in order to match the frequency of the version of you that you are stepping into. Sign number 4, the dark night of the soul. One moment you may have felt really excited about where life are taking you, but in the next everything is just falling apart and you feel really drained and down and depressed. And the dark night of the soul can be a really, really dark and heavy experience. I have personally gone through several, so I know exactly how you feel if you are there right now. But please know that this is not forever, this is just temporary. And through this breakdown, you will find your breakthrough. Sign number 5, increased synchronicities and manifestations. You keep seeing all those angels numbers like 111 and 222 and 777 and so on. Or you may experience that you think of someone and the next moment they are texting you. Or maybe doors start to open up for you unexpectedly. And these are all confirmation signs that you are aligning with a new reality and a new version of yourself. I also have several other signs that you may recognize, so I will put them on the screen here. Before we move on, tell me, babe, because I want to know how many of these signs you experienced. I would love to hear from you and I would love to hear your story. And if you are ready to step into your highest self, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below because we are unlocking new levels together on this channel. So let's get into the next part. And finally, let's talk about the real work, because stepping into your highest self isn't just about knowing what to do, it is all about living it. This isn't about just thinking differently, it's about being different. So how do you actually embody your highest self every single day? Let's break it down. Step number 1 is to get clear on your highest self. You can't become the best version of yourself if you are not fully understanding who he or she is. So take a moment and ask yourself, what does my highest self do daily? How do they think, feel, and move through life? What do they prioritize? What kind of habits do they have? And a pro tip here, you can actually create an alter ego if that helps. You can even give them a name, a clear personality. You can think about what they wear and where they live and so on and so forth. And step number 2, start to make small shifts to match their energy. So think about the character or alter ego or the person that you were reflecting around in step number 1 and think about the following questions. How does your highest self start their morning? And actually start do that. What habits does your higher self have? And start to integrate them. How does your highest self handle challenges? Start to respond in that way. Essentially, it is all about embodying that version of yourself now. Step number 3, track your shifts and align your goals. One of the most powerful things you can do is to track your evolution. And by that I mean reflecting around what shifts have you noticed, either internally or externally. Where are you still holding yourself back? What patterns keep repeating and how can you shift them? If you don't track it, it is so easy to just fall back into old patterns and old habits. So by tracking, you keep yourself more accountable and responsible. Step number 4, trust the process and let go of control. Usually, shifting timeline is not something that is happening overnight, although I have heard people are doing that, but usually it is a more gradual process. And this means that you might not see the results that you want right away, but keep going. And you can also feel really frustrated, like there are nothing happening, but trust that it is. And you also might feel like giving up. And here it is important to remember yourself why you started. But here is for sure the hardest part. You have to believe in the new version of yourself and the new timeline even before you see any result of it in your physical reality. And This is where most people get stuck. Most people wait for proof before they can believe it is possible. But the truth is, the belief always comes before the proof. Remember that reality mirrors your beliefs, not the other way around. This includes not just your conscious thoughts, but most importantly, your subconscious programming and beliefs. Because here is the thing, you don't create your dream life by just wishing for it. You create it by embodying the version of you that already has it. Your life, whether it is your dream life or not, is always a reflection of what you think or believe that you deserve. And that is exactly why I created my ultimate dream life planner. Because I needed a tool that didn't just keep track of my habits and goals, but also helped me reprogram my mindset and shift my energy and take aligned actions every single day. So if you are ready to start aligning with your highest timeline, check out the planner in the description below, because when you believe it, you will start to see it everywhere. Right now, you are standing at a crossroad between multiple realities. The choices you make today, they will shape the reality you step into tomorrow. But your higher self is not just a faraway version of yourself. Your higher self already exists within you. You just need to align with that version. So here is the real question. 1 year from now, do you want to look back and see that everything is still the same? Or do you want to look back and realize that you finally stepped into the version of yourself you were always meant to be? It all starts with a decision you make today. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is one thing that you are currently doing right now that helps you step into your most abundant self? And if you are ready to take things to the next level, check out my Ultimate Dream Life Planner. This planner can help you track your shifts, stay in alignment, and manifest your dream life. And of course, if you want more videos on timeline shifting, quantum jumping, or manifestation, hit the subscribe button below and let's unlock our next level together. Until next time, bye!